Strategic communication is a broad notion and applies in many dimensions. The interest here is its use for political and national security issues. This book's focus is broader than U.S. government discourse. It looks at the notion historically and today, and from the perspective of different nations, cultures, and societies. Part 1 reviews different concepts and definitions employed by the Departments of Defense and State to understand how they view different forms of engagement. This book argues that psychological operations in the military, renamed Military Information Support Operations, propaganda, information operations, and public affairs generally constitute different forms of strategic communication. Definitions and concepts often bump up against one another. The U.S. government has an important, compelling interest in maintaining a reputation for honesty, candor, and integrity. Its credibility depends upon that. Unfortunately, a combination of ambiguity in definition and unnecessary fear of the term psychological operations, PSYOP, and the use of verbal gimmicks to distance the United States from it, and inconsistencies between theory and practice make the government appear hypocritical and create a problem it strives to avoid. While different forms of communication may qualify as strategic communication, the distinctions are important. Each is directed at different audiences. Each is governed by different considerations. Part 2 examines the elements of the art of strategic communication. This book is not a litany of every example of strategic communication, but key historical examples uncover comparisons that offer lessons for today in thinking about content of the notion. Part 3 analyzes campaigns of influence and how strategic communication is employed to execute them. It draws on historical and contemporary examples to suggest lessons for today. Part 4 examines how television and radio can be used as weapons for strategic communication. Part 5 offers recommendations to improve strategic communication by the U.S. government. Not all are new, but bear advocacy. I aim for this book to help policy and decision makers, action officers, and those who deal with communication to ask hard questions about when, where, and how they can apply the principles of strategic communication to inform and influence audiences to achieve defined objectives.